Lagos City Pulse is an engaging video podcast that explores the intricate dynamics of local government and local council development areas in Lagos State, focusing on key issues like primary healthcare, waste management, legislative and executive duties, urban planning, and general grassroots public services. Hosted by my humble self, Yomi Adejumo, the podcast features interviews with grassroots media practitioners, community leaders, and policy experts, providing diverse perspectives while emphasizing its independence from government PR. Aimed at empowering Lagosians, Lagos City Pulse seeks to foster genuine civic engagement and illuminate the complexities of governance, celebrating the resilience and resourcefulness of Lagos as it invites audience to better understand and participate in their local civic landscape. Once again, you're welcome to Lagos City Pulse. You're welcome to another exciting episode of Lagos City Pulse. And with me on the program today is Mr. Taiwo Olokpade, broadcast journalist. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
And
for having me.
also Reverend Joe Iyite Bulem. Reverend Joe is a community health improvement advocate, the publisher of Oshodi Post Community News, and the vice president of the Association of Practitioners of Community Media in Nigeria. You're also welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, so let's quickly get into the reasons why we are here. And I want to direct the first questions to Mr. Olokpade. Olakpade. Thank you very much, Mr. Olakpade. Can you provide a brief overview of the structure of local government in Lagos State?
Thank you very much. Let me start by saying, by the Nigerian Constitution, we have 774 local governments recognized as we speak right now. However, in Lagos State, by this same Constitution, we have 20 local governments duly recognized. But we are aware that our current president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when he was serving as the Lagos State governor between 1999 to 2007, in 2003, he made a bold step by creating what is now known as LCDAs, that's the Local Council Development Areas. His belief then was we need to democratize and decentralize, the grassroots government, which is regarded as the authority of government, the local government. And whether we like it or not, that's the closest to the people. That's where you and I live. We live in different local governments.
That's true.
By extension states and at large. That's when we say we live in Nigeria or we are Nigerian. But we live more in local government. So that's what gave birth to the creation of that 37 LCDAs. No, we are still waiting for enlistment into the Constitution, and we are hoping that the current National Assembly will also look into that direction. And I know that definitely the present the present president who created the process by the will of the people of Lagos State, because you can't just do it without the necessity, without people asking for it. There was a referendum. People requested, demanded for it. Just like I said, to decentralize, to democratize, governance at that grassroots level. And we have seen a lot of dividends in that regard. We now see local government very, more closer to the people of Lagos State. So I think that's the genesis of the reason why we now said we have 20 local governments and 37 LCDAs, as the case may be at the moment in Lagos State.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Reverend, so what's the importance? How important is the local government elections? How important? Since it's the local government is created to meet the needs of the people at the grassroots. What, in your own take, how important is the local government elections?
I think the local government elections are critical because they raise the people that will exercise authority very
Mm,
close to the people,
mm,
who will see the people's needs, aspirations, and developmental needs,
mm,
health, education, security, and so on and so forth. So when you have a local government election, it's very important. Many people may not know what's happening at Abuja,
mm,
but they will always know what happens at Alausa
mm,
or all those local government headquarters like
mm,
Oshodi.
mm.
So local government election is very important to us as a grassroots people.
Okay, thank you very much. So,
Thank
who
you.
is responsible the conducting for conducting the local government elections? Who is responsible?
Of course, presently as it stands, by our constitution again, was allowed to make reference to the grand norm, which is the
Mm,
constitution 1999 as
mm,
amended. For every other state, we have, like in Lagos, we have LASEC, which is Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission.
mm,
For Rivers, we have River State. For Ogun, we have Ogun
mm.
State.
Okay.
SIEC, and it goes on and on. So for Lagos in particular, there happens to be our focus on this, conversation
Mm,
is LASEC. That's the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission, and by the act of LASEC, by
mm,
creation of LASEC, they
mm,
have the mandate to conduct the local government election for both the chairmanship and the councillorship aspirant. And the way it is at the moment, we know we are looking up to July 12th date that has been set aside by LASEC. And by LASEC and by the Constitution, it is also mandatory that 3 months,
mm,
that's 90 days,
mm,
notice should be given for preparation to all stakeholders, be it political parties, the civil society, the media, the NGOs, the religious bodies, and the like, which I believe LASEC has also satisfied that guidelines. So we are looking up to that election, and we are
mm.
hoping that LASEC will conduct free, fair, and credible
So let me
election come
ask you
July
again a
12th.
cheeky question. Do you think the coordinating authority is credible?
Well, for me, I won't say, because the election has not been conducted. So
Mm,
you can't say whether they are credible or not. If a student has not taken exam, you can't say whether a student is good, will come out in distinction, or second upper credit or lower credit, or pass or fail. Election has not been conducted. So we can't say whether LASEC for now, particularly for this very local government election slated for July 12th, I think it should be too early. However, we can speak as regards the build up to that election. What are we
mm,
seeing LASEC doing? Have they been doing stakeholder summit or meeting with political parties, or even other stakeholders,
forums and
like
engagements.
IPAC, the
Mm,
media, the civil
mm,
society group?
mm,
And I think they've done one or twice of such engagements,
mm,
with political parties, with IPAC, and
mm.
also the media and the civil society.
Mm.
So I think for me, so long, I would say is a work in progress, but not until the July 12th election we see the way LASEC. That's why we can really, give them a scorecard, or even give a mark to their performance, whether pass or whether fail or whether distinction, as the case may be. But it's too early to say LASEC, to really, give them a pass mark per se, when the proper job that has been given to them is yet to be delivered.
So, Reverend, let me ask you the question. In Oshodi, where you cover the grassroots, can you trust LASEC?
Yes, because I heard what Mr. Lakbada have just said, but when he was speaking, I asked myself, in the past 10, 12 years, there have not been too much critical legal issues after local government elections.
Mm,
That means most of it accepted by the people. I know they came the other time to speak to the parties, and from the way things are going, I think nobody seems to be, social media up now. I'm not seeing people write, oh, LASIEC didn't do this and so on and so forth. So that means you see the people accepted the processes or procedures they have set up.
Okay, so based on that, let me ask this question, sir. Do you think people will turn out for these local government elections in Oshodi and generally in Lagos?
Yes. Yes, but one thing I would just say is that the progressive movement, sorry to say that, that's the ruling party, seems to be mobilized. I haven't seen much of the opposition. I can't remember seeing most, well, it's too early. Most of them are still doing their primaries. But from the party itself seems to be mobilized itself. But I've not seen PDP, Labour, blah, blah, those ones really making noise. Unless maybe they are working on the ground. The campaign will start maybe the next week. Then maybe we'll see. But I can tell you, say, for the ruling party, there seems to be great mobilization.
Okay, so what's your take, Mr. Lokpade? Do you think residents have the confidence in the process to participate in these local government elections?
For me, I think residents should participate because in the long run, when you decided not to be part of the exercise, then you have no reason to complain. And like some people do say that maybe politics is not for the elites. But if it's not for the elite, that means it's the hoodlums that will rule over the elites. And whether we like it or not, that's what we have seen played out in some areas, not just in Lagos, but in terms of, and before we came on set, we were discussing about the outcome of 2023 general elections. I covered that election in some states. And from INEC told us by its record that over 90 million Nigerians registered for 2023 general elections.
Wow.
And they told us categorically that about 86 point something percent, millions of people collected their PVCs for that election. But what was the outcome? What did we get? Eventually, the vote that brought in the current president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that should be around 8.7 million. Atiku Abubakar that came second got about 6.7 million. And Peter Obi that came third got about 6.1 or 2 million. And the void votes that we had, maybe around 900, close to a million. Okay, let's just say a million, round figure. The other political parties, the NMPP, Kwakwanzo, got about a million. So other political parties, roughly about 1.52 million. All together, we did not get, even including the void votes, we didn't get up to 30 million. And people are asking the questions that how indeed can we got very low turnout when INEC told us that 86 point something million Nigerians collected, not registered, those that collected
their PVCs.
Those that actually shown that they are ready to participate. What did we get? So it was a high level of voter apathy at that election. But the beauty of it was that a winner still emerged from that process, which is, of course, the election or the vote of Asiwaju. It is not controversial. He won the election, even up to the Supreme Court. It was challenged, and the Supreme Court ruled that the man won the election. But our focus right here is we are talking about ahead of July 12th election. The need for residents to come out. Even here in Lagos, the figure was about I think around 7 million Lagosians were registered for 2023 general election. But what did we get? We didn't get a vote up to about 1.5 million people. So, sincerely, the voter apathy is worrisome. And I throw that challenge to the current leadership of LASIEC, led by Justice Okikiola Egile, that they have a major task to do. They have a major work to do because they need to canvass. And the reason why they can also do that, they must show transparency along the line. They must build confidence in the people. They must allow the people to own the system. When they own the system, when they feel like there's a sense of belonging, so they urge the need for them to say, we must participate, we'll be there. I am optimistic that we will see a change in the narrative by ensuring that we have at least maybe up to about 2.5, 3 million Lagosians coming out for this forthcoming local government
Okay,
elections.
thank you very much. Mr. Lakpade has said that LASIEC must raise its game to make sure that people participate. What again do you think, Reverend, that needs to be done to make sure that people participate in this local government election? Because we have no other place. The grassroots is where home is, and politics they say is local. How can it be? How can that show forth in the participation in these local government elections?
Yeah, thank you again. I also think that it's beyond the LASIEC. I think every patriotic Nigerian, groups, churches, community leaders should mobilize their people to come and vote. And it's part of what Mr. Lakbade is talking about, ownership of the process, ownership of government. I see people, oh, what are they giving me? And so on and so forth. But when after that election, they start criticizing. So we still have an opportunity now to appeal, especially the social media warlords, youth who make noise. Come out and vote. Come
Instead
and
of
tell us
playing
that,
football
yes,
on the field.
come out and tell us that, oh, my vote did not count. But they will not, don't mind them. But after that election, you see them talking. So what I want to say is that there is still a need for every patriotic Nigerian leaders to mobilize their people, prepare them to come, so that the number will increase. The voters apathy, my friend have just pointed out, will no more be there. So that's my point.
So, Mr. Lakpade, the social media can play a very strong role in this mobilizing people for the elections.
Definitely,
of that?
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I'm of the strong view that because we're in the social media age, we're in the age of artificial intelligence, which we know, which is popularly known as AI. And if you're talking about those who have visibility, visibility, in that regards, are the youth. So just like the Reverend also said, instead of the youth just sitting down somewhere, broadcasting online, chatting, sending messages, criticizing the system, why don't you? And I'm even looking forward to a time where, just like we said earlier, before we came on the set, we have a very young president in Senegal who says we cannot have such in Nigeria. Even by breakdown of the voting age, we can see that the youth, it occupies the highest. After the youth is the women. The men takes the lower cadre of in terms of breakdown of how many Nigerians are qualified from the age of 18 and above. We have the youth in large numbers. So even if the youth should push forward somebody among them, they can become governor of Lagos State. They can become president of the country. Who says they cannot? But you see that on most of the election dates, you see people also playing football on the field.
Which is very
you see
worrisome.
People also just sit back and say, oh, our vote doesn't count. If our vote doesn't count, politicians will not come to us offering us money to say, bring your voter's card or vote for us. It starts from there. That we must do away with that sentiment or that mindset that vote counts. But because what makes it so possible for politicians to do abracadabra is because when the voter turnout is low, it will give them the room to manipulate. But when they see the large mass, people coming out, when they see the crowd,
the fear,
and they saw, the voting pattern, that maybe it was APC that had the highest number of votes, or the PDP, or the Labour, as the case may be, it will become so extremely difficult for them to want to say, we want to change numbers or figures. But when people did not come out,
people are not
they will
outside,
just add up
they
the
will
figures.
just add up the figures. But when they see the crowd, the masses,
they
they
will
are
think
outside.
twice about not trying to cause anarchy or breakdown of law and order. So I'm appealing to the youth of Lagos, please don't shy away from this election. It is your constitutional responsibility to participate and ensure that your vote counts at the end of the day.
Thank you very much. So let me just ask those questions before we wrap up on this episode. The outgoing government and over the years, the policies of the local government, how do you think it has been impactful to the grassroots? What's your take about that, Reverend?
I think there's been Lagos exceptional. The standard you see
Lagos
in Lagos,
exceptional.
yes, may not easily be seen in other states. But in Lagos here, there's always improvement in three critical areas: health, education, and finance. You see them trying to generate internal revenue more and more. You see schools. In the last 3-4 years, you see schools being rebuilt, primary school being rebuilt. And so, but one thing I've not seen increase the number of primary schools, but I see them being rebuilt, refurnished, rehabilitated, teachers, and so on and so forth. Then in health, I've seen increased number of primary health centers improved. Even some of them being converted to a hospital, general hospital, and so on and so forth. So these things are, and road infrastructure.
Wow.
So there is more and more roads are being done, governments are being built, markets are being rehabilitated all over the place. Nobody will not say that there's no impact. But vis-a-vis what people are looking for is not enough. So there's still need for improvement.
Still needs room for. I'm quite impressed about the Ajiromi Feludun axis of the roads in that place, roads infrastructure. I was like, I was there in the neighborhood like 2 weeks ago, and I saw all those places that used to be very bad.
That Kadoso Road, all those areas.
They are in touch.
The same thing no should too.
That's true. That's true. That's a good one. Finally, Mr. Lokpade, before we let you go, because you know you're a very busy man, you have talked about LASIEC rising up to the game. The responsibility is saddled upon them to make sure that this election is well, the process is good and all that, and that they will be held responsible and accountable for the outcome and all that. What again can you put in, just chip in, word of advice that you think they need to do in the process to perfect cross their T's and dot their I's to make sure that Lagos again sets the pace in terms of electioneering?
Thank you so much. Let me quickly back up the point made by reference as regards the performance at the grassroots level. Asiwaju had that vision long years ago in 2003. And that's why Lagos, had these additional 37 LCDs. Just like I said, to take development to the grassroots, to the doorsteps of the people. Like you said, we have seen a couple of, whether you like it or not, couple of developments, concrete legacy projects. You see some projects at the local government, you'll be wondering that, were these funded by local government? They call them legacy projects. I've seen a couple of them across. And the beauty of it is they are meant for the use of those who reside in all those local governments. But local government will do more if eventually this local government autonomy in terms of finances, when they start getting the allocation directly from the federal government, that's when we see that they can also perform wonders. We see big infrastructural development. So I'm also an advocate, just like the current president, through the Minister of Justice, SCN Lateef Fagbemi, has done. They have given autonomy to the local government, but it is yet to really take a proper effect. So I look forward to that time when local government will get there so that we can hold them accountable, like you said. When they collect their funds directly and we know how much they are collecting, we also want to say, okay, Mr. Chairman, come and give a breakdown. We know you collected 300 million naira in the month of June. Show us how the money is spent. Tell us the infrastructure. That's where we can hold them accountable. But this one that whether governors, whether of course we can't verify it.
Yes.
But we are waiting for that time when they start collecting money allocation directly from the FAC. Then we can hold them accountable. So come back to your question regarding LASIEC. I think LASIEC, they have a date with history in Lagos State ahead of this election. Except they don't have all the wherewithal to perform. And this is time for them to really tell us if indeed they don't have the money or the logistics or the personnel to do the work. If that is not the case, they have no reason to fail us. Because all eyes are on Lagos, because this is also a state that has produced the current president. So they have no reason to fail us or to fail President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So I wish LASIEC well, and I wish that they will continue the strides that they have started by regular stakeholder meeting. That's where they can really win the support of IPAC or other political parties, and they will sustain that to the July 12th election to show that indeed as the name implies,
Mm.
Lagos State independent, so that you can demonstrate that independence,
Independence.
to show the credibility of that and the transparency of that July 12th local government elections in Lagos State.
All right, thank you very much. It's been an
Thank you very
exciting
much.
time
Yeah.
on this program, the Lagos City Pulse. I'm glad you were able to make it, Mr. Lakmade and Reverend from Oshodi. And
Thank you.
so, final words from you to your people in Oshodi.
Yes, everybody should come out and vote. And vote your candidates.
Mm.
And tell others to vote too.
Mm.
Oshodi Solo is our own.
Mm.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. And
Well, my parting shot is to every other resident of Lagos that has attained the age of 18 and above. It is your franchise. It is your constitutional right. So far you have the identity, which is the voter's card. Don't shy away. Don't sell your vote as well. And don't compromise the standard. And also avoid anything that can lead to chaos or breakdown of law and order. We want to see a very friendly environment come July 12th in Lagos State, that at the end of the day, we can all be happy and say, indeed, LASIEC has performed their responsibility, and whoever wins should celebrate. And those who lost can also stage a comeback and try again. We have seen some American former president that tried several times before eventually they even the former president Muhammad Buhari tried a couple of times, but eventually he got it after yes, and Atiku is still trying. Maybe by 2027 we never can tell.
Thank you very much.
I want Lagosians to have faith in LASIEC and also rally around them to support, because it is when they succeed that we all succeed together. If they fail, it's a failure on our part.
And they should be security conscious.
Thank you very much. Thank you very thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we have come to an end of this edition of Lagos City Pulse. You have heard it from the grassroots people. They are holding LASIEC responsible for the outcome of these elections. And because Lagos has always set the pace as regards everything, is the center of excellence, more so that the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is from Lagos. And so the whole eyes will be on Lagos to see how the grassroots election unfolds and takes place. Thank you very much. See you next time on Lagos City Pulse.